So like, I wanted something kind of not too like, kind of more neutral, I guess. I guess a hamster. Oh, what are we doing? Where am I? Wait. How far are we? Oh, we're in that underground pass. Okay. I was like, what are we doing? Oh, this is when Harry escaped. That's why I couldn't remember what we were doing. We're like down in the second base. God, it's been so long. But yeah, it's just I'm actually really excited. And I'm thinking it's kind of like how you would get a like a piercing or whatever. It's not that I haven't been to a tattoo shop before. I just haven't been to a tattoo shop or a tattoo parlor to get a tattoo. I've gone to get piercings. I mean, that's the only way pretty much you get a cartilage piercing is to go into a tattoo parlor nowadays. It's the safest way to get piercings is to go to a tattoo parlor. I would actually recommend it for anybody who's trying to get like a piercing. Even your regular lobe piercing is to go to a tattoo parlor and do it. Don't go to like Claire's or anything. Claire's is really bad. Ten out of 10 would recommend. Oh wait. Yeah, I would like even like kind of the kids that I work with, I tell them like, oh, if you're gonna go get piercings, you should go to a place that actually is kind of certified for like health, you know, like the reason I don't like, I mean, I'm not saying this as like, oh, it's because I did it. I had my first lobe piercings, I got it at Claire's, because that, like, of course I'm not gonna ask my mom to take me to a tattoo parlor, you know what I mean? Like, my mom ain't gonna step into those places, you know what I mean? And honestly, it's not that it costs any different either. Like, my friend's first set of lobe piercings, she got it at the tattoo parlor where I got my first cartilage piercing, and it cost the same amount of money. It cost $30. Was it $30? I think it was $30. It cost her $30 to get her lobe piercing. It cost you $30 at Claire's to get a lobe piercing. Like, honestly, it's the same amount. Yeah, so anybody who's like, oh, it costs more to get it, it costs a lot more to get a tattoo parlor, I'm like, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, anybody who tells you that is a liar. They've never been to a tattoo parlor before to get their piercings. Definitely not. Actually, no, did it cost $30? I can't remember. It's been so long. I've had my cartilage piercings for a long time, that's why. I got mine maybe my 3rd and 4th year of college, or were they both my 3rd year of college? I can't remember. No, 3rd and 4th. So they were kind of like a roommate bonding thing. It's pretty fun. I miss that. Maybe I can ask my roommate how it felt. Like my old roommate, ask her how it felt to get her tattoo. She got a tattoo recently. It looked really nice. It's on her, it's not like on her hip. Maybe I should ask her how much. For the piercings, yes. We went together. It was like Actually no, it was the 3 of us who went, but only 2 of us got piercings. My roommate got her first set of lobe piercings. Actually no, was it first or second? I don't remember, but all I remember is that she got her lobe piercings. I went to get my first cartilage piercing. I remember that. Yeah, cause I had told her I already had like a plan for my piercings. Is that weird to have a plan for like your body modifications? Like I know that some people just go out and because they feel like it and they just go and get them. But I guess that goes along with my personality, right? I'm a very planned person. Like I'm less for spontaneous stuff. Like I'm all for just going. Yeah, I knew that I wanted 6 of them. Like I wanted 6 piercings. I wanted to get my 2, well technically 6, right? I wanted to get my 2 lobe piercings and 1 cartilage. Well, technically they're both cartilage, but one tragus piercing, which is that little piece that's like, you know, when you're in your ear, right? You have that little piece that comes out. It's not part of like like this part, right? It's part of like in here, like right here, closer to your like face. It's that little piece of cartilage that kind of like sticks out. Not part of like the outer shell of your ear, but it's like closer to your cheek. Like, so it's this piercing right here. So I wanted to get that because, and it's kind of embarrassing to say now, but a lot of the K-pop stars that I had like really looked up to and really followed, they had a tragus piercing. And so I was like, you know what? If they're cool enough to have one of those things, I gotta be cool enough to have one of those things too. Like a lot of the artists that I really respected and looked up to had a tragus piercing, so I was like, hell yeah. So I got one too. And so actually, it's something that I don't regret still. I don't regret getting a tragus piercing. My mom was kind of a little upset that I got. Actually, no, I asked her about it, and she was just, honestly, my mom's reaction wasn't that I had gotten it and it was like, oh, she didn't like it. I think her reaction was more when I had told her that I wanted it. She just was scared that it was gonna get infected, and because it was closer, it's not really like on your lobe, right? Because lobe piercings are like kind of far away, so if they get infected, you know, it's, you know, whatever, it's not too bad. Like, you'll be okay. You're not gonna die from it. My mom was really just afraid that if it got infected, like a tragus piercing, that maybe it'd be too close to the head, and so, or like too close to your face, and you know, it could potentially cause health issues for you. And so, but mine never got infected, and I was pretty good. So yeah, she was worried that I was gonna get sick, which, I mean, any mom would be worried about that. So, but other than that, like, she didn't really care afterwards. She, like, I think it still looks pretty good by itself. I don't think she has any problem with it now. I mean, it's, like, I didn't really ask her for permission because I was already 18 when I got it, so, like, I was already old enough, I was an adult to sign off on it for myself, so I didn't need her permission to get it, you know, so, once I got it, and then she like, looked at me and she's like, oh, okay, I guess, that's fine, as long as it didn't get infected and I was fine, I knew what I was doing, I knew what I signed up for. It's not, and plus, like, it's not that I was doing it to be, like, super rebellious. It's just, like, I kind of just wanted it, you know? Like, no, actually, surprisingly, like, I know that, you know, a lot of people think, like, oh, like, I had Asian parents. They must have been super strict, you know, about it, you know, like Tiger Mom and whatnot. But my parents were very, like, relatively, compared to most, I would say, Asian families, they're really actually pretty lax about what I do. And to be honest, like, I think in my family I'm probably the most I hate to use that word, but like I am probably the most rebellious one, or adventurous. Let's just call it adventurous. Like I'm the most adventurous in my family. Like, you know, my parents and my brother, you know, like I'm the most adventurous one. It's not really rebellious, because I'm not doing it to, like, spite my parents. Like, nothing I do is, you know, I don't do it to spite my parents. I just, you know, sometimes I just want to be adventurous. You know, I just want to do things because I like them, you know, and I'm the only one. And considering the fact that I'm probably, if I get this tattoo, I am probably going to be the only one in the family. I am going to be the only one in the family who has a tattoo. Like, I am just more inclined to be a little bit more adventurous, and I just, you know, I like to express myself in that way, and I just, you know, if I like it, I like it, you know? My mom, what the freak? I would say my mom doesn't really approve of me getting a tattoo in general anyways, but I don't think she would really honestly care, because she knows that, like, I'm not gonna put anything that's, like, super ugly, you know, like, I have eyes, I have taste, you know what I mean? Like, she knows, I think she knows for the most part that I'm, you know, I'm not gonna put anything, like, you know, super disrespectful on myself, you know? Like, I have taste. So she's not too worried about it. I think she's just generally just worried like any mom would be. Yeah, I'm not gonna put somebody's face on my tattoo. You know, I'm not gonna put someone's face on my body, you know? I have eyes. And I'm not gonna get, like something bad written on myself, you know? I'm not that type of person. Yeah. Because, you know, you see all those horror pictures of, like, people getting those, like, celebrities tattooed on their bodies, and I'm just like, okay, I see you, but at the same time, like, you do you, you know what I mean? Hey, Kendall, how's it going? But yeah, for the most part, I don't think my mom would care, honestly. Like, I showed her that ham tattoo, and she was just kind of like, I don't know if, like, she didn't hate it. She thought it was cute. How's it going, Kendall? But yeah, I mean, for people who really do like, who like their celebrity tattoos and stuff, and they don't mind dedicating their tattoo to somebody, like, I have nothing against that either. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that just because maybe like a celebrity really, like, someone really famous maybe changed your life, and like how they, like, something about them really stood out to you, and it's more significant to somebody else, and I just wouldn't understand their story. But I'm not gonna say that, like, I'm probably not gonna do that. Like, I don't really like hyper-realistic tattoos in the first place, so, like, I wouldn't get a portrait of somebody on my body. Like, I just don't think that's something that I would do. You know what I mean? But to each their own, you know? If you want to get a hyper-realistic tattoo of someone or something on your body, like, maybe like a pet. You know, there are a lot of people who do hyper-realistic tattoos of their pets. You know, when they pass away, they usually do that. So I think that's okay too. I mean, if it means something to you, it means something to you. But my personal opinion of hyper-realistic tattoos, I just don't like that art style. Like, not on myself. It's just not something that I like, personally. But some of them look really cool. Like, some of them look really nice. Like, people who do hyper-realistic art, tattooed art, actually are, like, it's super, it takes a lot of talent, you know? I mean, any type of tattoo takes talent, but just in general, like, I think that's really cool. Like, it's one thing to do, like, that type of art on, like, like on a canvas, but like do it on someone's skin. That's something else entirely, you know what I mean? That's why I always think, you know, people who get those that's why I think watercolor tattoos are like pretty awesome, because I'm like, how do you imitate brush strokes? You know, like on skin. It's really interesting to me how they get that. It takes a lot of, like, that type of art style is like super, I guess kind of super sophisticated, because anybody can really do like black and white line, like the black work, like that type of art. A lot of people can do that, because it's, I would say it's probably easier to do that, but I'm not, you know, I'm not an expert, so I mean, it could also be very difficult. I mean, I think giving tattoos in general is a very difficult thing. It takes a lot of talent to just give tattoos in general, so yeah, let's see, yeah, the tattoo I want, I'm not sure who could pull it off. Yeah. And I mean, like, I know that there's people who get, like, lyrics tattooed on themselves as well. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just, like, I'm always, like, wondering what kind of, like, if I were to get something like that, like lyrics tattooed on my, like, on my body, like, I would always, like, wonder, like, what kinds of lyric would I want that would always, like, kind of represent who I am, because I feel like for lyrics, really just kind of only stand for, like, one part of your life, right? So I'm not really sure if I would want, like, that kind of thing, because that only represents part of you, like, only at one time of your life too. Like, maybe a lyric that was really important to me back in high school is obviously not the same lyric that that represents me as a person today, in today's, like, time period of my life, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I'm kind of trying to also stay away from, like, script, because I'm just like, I don't, unless there's like maybe like a quote, like from a book or something, but I'm obviously not that well read either, so it's just like, I don't know if I could do script or like any type of like wording, because like there's not a quote from like anything that really represents me, or some sort of like wording that I really want to follow. And again, I'm not the type of person who, like, can pull off, like, the hardcore, like, skull and bones type of, like, tattoo either. So I'm not that type of person who would have those types of tattoos. I think I would look kind of like a poser if I did that. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that type of person who just has a tattoo because they think it looks kind of cool, you know what I mean? But like I said, I kind of wanted a tattoo that, you know, really just represents who I am as a person, you know what I mean? I have to leave this here. But like something that I would get for myself. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, like any of the art that I've like kind of looked at, like dragons, or you know those people who get like those, I was thinking of maybe getting like maybe like a dragon or a phoenix tattoo, because that is kind of representative of like my culture, I guess. If you're gonna go with like an Asian tattoo that's not script, like Asian script, you would go with maybe like a dragon or a phoenix, because, you know, whatever. But I'm like, that kind of seems a little tacky for me, Cause I'm like, I'm first of all not born in the year of the dragon, so I think that would be super tacky of me to get a dragon tattoo, cause I'm not a dragon. I would maybe get a phoenix, cause like technically I guess that would be representative. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do clay. Dang it. I meant to do another thing of resin, but oops. And plus I feel like dragons are pretty, I mean, I'd hate to say a little cliche. Oops. They're a little cliche. And I didn't want to get something that was like overtly done, you know what I mean? I guess a Hamtaro would be okay. I am the crazy hamster lady, so I guess it makes sense. Let me do one more thing of resin so I can get some more. But I mean, like, for each person, it's their own kind of decision what they want on their body, so I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't get a dragon on your forearm or like on yourself. Like, again, it's your own choice of like what kind of art that you would want. Like I said, I considered getting it myself, but it's just, I just didn't think that for my own reasoning I shouldn't get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I also considered maybe getting like a wolf. Is that weird too? Like maybe getting like a wolf tattooed on myself or something, like, oh, like I'm super mysterious, because you know, like wolves are kind of mysterious, but I'm like, I'm not, what? Who's talking right now? Like, who, what? Could you even imagine that? Like, I don't know. But that, again, see, can you imagine me getting a wolf tattoo? Like, no, like, I don't think so. It's not really... It's not really, again, something that I would necessarily get either. Because I don't think it's really representative of who I am. That would be neat. I mean, I think in general, wolf, dragon, any of those types of like animal tattoos, like a lot of people have them. They're very like a lot of people have them. But does it represent who I am? Not really. That's why I kind of like held off on it with that idea, because I'm like, I don't think that matches, you know? I don't really. I just thought I mean, I think I like wolves because they look pretty cool. But like, do I have a personal connection to like what wolves are? Not really, no. I just think they look cool, which is that's not enough reason to get. That's not enough reason to get a wolf tattoo. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not a lone wolf. Like, who am I kidding? You know, I'm not that cool. Or like a lion, you know, a lot of people get lions tattooed on their bodies and stuff like that, and I'm like, yo, I'm not. I really am not. Oh god. Yeah, it's one of those things. That's why I've been really considering it. Yeah, like a lion or a tiger, you know, like those are like the most cliche animals to go with. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be cliche, but it's just like, a lot of people generally get those animals. And I just don't think they represent who I am as a person. I mean, if you would classify me as anything, like as an animal, like I don't think people would consider me one of those types of animals, you know? I would like to be. That'd be really cool, but like if I'm being really honest with myself, I don't really see myself as a tiger or a lion or something like that. It just doesn't seem that, like, my spirit animal would probably not be that. And that's fair. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. Because I don't think so either. Oops. Oops. Okay, well, close enough. What animal? Wait, what? Oh, you mean like what my spirit animal is? I don't even know, like, but I don't think if you would like look at me, that you would consider me like a tiger or a lion or a wolf or something like that. I don't think you guys would consider me that type of animal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you guys would see that as my spirit animal. So. Yo, is this Minecraft 3 Revenge of the Sith? No, this is not. This is Astroneer. But welcome to the stream. It's like a space Minecraft. If you're really gonna go for that type of game, it's like that, but I'm not saying that it is. You know what game what game did Este post up, like, in chat the other day? There was a game that he posted that was kind of like a FPS version of this, but like more realistic. I kind of want to play that game. But I don't know. It seems like it would be the type of game that would also kind of have a lot of bugs in it. I know, and I'm saying that like this game doesn't have a lot of bugs, but like but yeah, I am really thinking about getting about really like contacting that artist to see if I can like reserve that or like get that tattoo. I'm hoping that it won't be too expensive though, because I don't like it's not that I don't want to spend the money. Like, I do want to spend the money because I know that it's going to be quality art, but like I just don't know if I'll be able to afford it. That's the problem. So that's what I'm kind of like nervous about. Like, I'm just like, dang man, like I'm hoping that it doesn't, because I've heard that like certain tattoos can cost like maybe like upwards of like $1,000 or something like that, but I'm like, I'm hoping that's just because those are really big tattoos and stuff, and I'm not trying to get a huge tattoo. Like, this is just your basic, you know, like on your, like on the side of your shoulder, that kind of tattoo. So it's not gonna be, it's not huge. Oops. So I'm hoping that it doesn't cost that much. Dang, this is a lot of dirt. Here, just chilling. Did I show you guys what he was doing the other day? Let me see if I can show you guys. So, he was using this chew toy as like a little ladder. It's the funniest thing ever. If I can get him to come over here. Yeah, he's not gonna come out. He's hiding in the corner right now, so I'm gonna just leave him for a little bit. But yeah, just kind of like how I had a plan to get a certain number of a certain number of piercings. I kind of have a certain number of tattoos that I also want in mind. Like, I have the number in my head, like how many I want, but that's not indicative of like what I want as those tattoos, you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of have the number. Where I want them and what I want them of is a completely different story. So I was thinking about maybe 3 or 4. I think I've kind of settled on 3 though. So I think this would count as this would be 1. And then I kind of want. I was thinking of maybe kind of doing like maybe kind of like a sleeve, but not like a full like a full-on sleeve. Like maybe just like one arm, but like it would not be like super connected. Like, you know how some people have like a full sleeve and it's like super connected, and then it just looks like one big actual sleeve. Like, I want kind of like intersparse, so you would have like one big one, like maybe one up here and then maybe like one on your forearm, and they're clearly 2 different tattoos, and you know, they don't blend together like one big black dark shape on your arm. Like, that's not what I really wanted. I kind of want to just have them kind of still separated so you can tell that they're 2 pieces of art, or like 3 pieces, depending on how many I wanted. And then maybe like one like on my other wrist or something like that. I don't know yet. That's kind of the thing. I was like, I also thought about getting like a behind the ear tattoo, but then I'm like, man, that would mean I would either have to keep my short hair or, you know, or hide it with long hair. But I'm like, I also heard that that spot hurts a lot. So like, it's not that I'm really scared of the pain, because I have a relatively high pain tolerance. It's just that, I don't know, it just seems, I don't know, I just don't think that I should get it. No, it's like kind of like that space kind of like behind your ear, but it's like there's only so much you can do in that space, you know what I mean? Not really a neck tattoo, it's just kind of like, it's kind of just like behind your ear, like in that little tiny space behind your earlobe, that kind of goes down into your neck, but not really still. Like, it's not down to your neck. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but it would, like, I kind of didn't want a big one. I kind of wanted something still pretty subtle in terms of, like, if you were gonna get, like, behind the ear tattoo, like, maybe, like, like, my idea back in the day was to get, a constellation, but I wanted that constellation to mean something. So, this was my idea back in, like, high school, because I had a really, really, really close group of friends. This is just like, it's not a real constellation, but it would still be like little stars. So what my idea was for this constellation was, this is, mind you, this was back in high school when I was just graduating, and I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't get the tattoo, but like, I had a really close group of friends in high school and like growing up, and we all kind of grew up together, and we were all in the same 1 or 2 years of high school, and so what I really wanted was to map out, like on the map, like on an actual physical map, where we all went to college. And so I would have like a little star representing where that person went to college. And so it would be kind of representative of like where we all went. So it's like, even though we were all, it was supposed to represent like, even though we were all separated, we're all still together, like that kind of thing. But it turns out I'm actually really glad I didn't get that tattoo, because we don't, like, the majority of us don't really talk anymore. We do, but then at the same time we don't. Like, we kind of grew apart, which is, I mean, for the most part, as an adult, that's kind of like what happens, unfortunately. Yeah. And it's kind of unfortunate, because I really do miss those friends still, and I like, I'm one of those types of people who like really cherishes my past and like where I grew up and like the people who kind of made me who I am. And so it was kind of like really rough when that happened. Yeah, it was pretty rough. So yeah, it kind of sucked, but then I've come now to the realization that that's just kind of what happens, unfortunately. As you grow older, there are just some people who just won't, you know, they just won't be a part of your life anymore. And that's just, I mean, that's how it is, and you just kind of have to get used to that. And it takes time and effort from both parties for each friend to be able to like stay together and continually be friends. And even though one person wants it still, like one person wants to still remain friends, it's not a one-sided thing. A friendship is a two-sided ordeal. A relationship in general is a two-sided ordeal. Whether or not it's like an actual like romantic relationship, or if it's like a friendship relationship, all relationships are double-sided, and you cannot just have one person in it, because that's just not how it works. That's not a friendship. So I tried you know, reaching out to certain friends, but like eventually you just kind of grow apart because you just become different people, especially if you're not hanging out anymore. But to be fair, those friends that I had hung out with, if I really think about it, we actually, honestly, none of us should have been friends. Like, if we didn't all go to the same school. We grew up together in like you know, like a youth group. So if we had actually gone to the same school, none of us would have been friends, because we just didn't hang out in the same types of friend groups. Some of us were like the popular ASB people, some of us were like the nerdy kids, some of us were like, you know, just friends with everybody, that kind of thing. Other people were like the, you know, jocks and whatever. And so it's just like, honestly, if we didn't have that group that we all met up, like none of us would have really honestly been friends. Oh jeez, I have to go around the planet again. And I think that kind of like was part of it, because the thing that brought us together was no longer like the thing that was like, it didn't connect us anymore, because we had all gone off to college and done our own thing. So, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's reality. And I feel like it's very not realistic, you know, like when you see on TV shows and movies and stuff where you have like, I know that there are a lot of people who have best friends since they were like kids, right? Like you grew up with your best friend, they're like your sibling, right? There are people out there that are like that, and I'm like, yeah, that's actually really good, and I'm actually like, I honestly am really jealous of those people. I'm very envious, because I'm like, man, that would be really cool. Like somebody who knows you, and you know, they constantly know you, and you can just pick up where you left off. That kind of friend. I mean, technically, that would kind of be like if you, I don't know how, I just lost my train of thought, but like, so if you moved around as a kid, you don't have that. Yeah, I mean, even if you didn't move around, like I didn't move around, but I didn't have any close friends like that growing up. Like I thought I did, but then I went off to college, and those friends are no longer I wouldn't really consider them a best friend anymore. Like, just because like I've changed, we basically haven't talked in forever. So yeah, I honestly, if I were to really think about it, I don't really have like a best IRL friend. You know, like, you know how people are like, you kind of have to have like a best friend IRL, whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, none of my, actually, to be completely honest with you, none of my IRL friends really, honestly, actually none of them do. I can actually say this, none of them watch my stream. But that's fair. I don't really advertise my stream to my, to my real friends. Like, when I say real friends, I'm not saying that you guys aren't my real friends, but like online friends are not real friends. I'm not saying that. I'm like the friends that I know in real life. My physical friends, as I would say. Yeah. My physical friends. Let's call them physical friends. My physical friends, I don't have really that close real life or physical friends. All my closest friends are either my online friends or they're part of my like group chat. I mean, yeah, that's kind of me too, DNA. I've kind of gone both ways. Like I don't really take the time to like I'm kind of like guilty of that as well. Like I personally don't take care of like the relationships between my like friends and stuff either. Since I'm more introverted, I'm not the one that kind of reaches out and brings people together. Like I'm kind of the one who's just like, if you want to hang, you ask me if you want to hang, because I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be the one who reaches out. I'm never the one who reaches out, which is kind of like, that's kind of bad on myself, I guess. Like if I really want to maintain relationships, I need, like I said earlier, like I need to be, like it needs to be double-sided. One person cannot just be the one who contacts the other people all the time, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of very guilty of that too. I say it like before it kind of sounded like I try to reach out to people all the time and they just don't respond to me. But it's actually, I'm kind of guilty of that too. When people want to hang out, I'm just kind of like, because I'm more of a homebody, I just don't want to, I don't really want to go out and try to, maintain like relationships. I just don't think going out is really fun. I'm not, again, you guys know me, and I've said it a lot before, but I'm not the type of person who just likes going out and hanging out. If you want to hang out, you guys are more than welcome to come over to my house and we'll hang out there. Like I don't like being outside. I'm a very homebody person. Like that's why I have a lot of video games. We have a lot of video games that are in our house. We have board games and stuff like that. A lot of people are just, they want to go out and hang out. They want to party. They want to do all that stuff. But I'm just like, you know what? We can have a dinner at our house, like my house and whatnot. Like a very casual thing where you just hang out. You know what I mean? Like I like those types of interactions where we can just be lazy together and just not have to dress up, not have to go out and, be out in public. Like I don't want to. I like those types of hangouts more than partying and going out and, getting wasted at the club, that type of thing, you know what I mean? Like, I've never been that type of person, and I just don't think it's that fun. Just the idea of it doesn't seem very fun. Look at how much dirt we have. Like, what is this? Yo, look at this. Yeah, honestly, like my coworkers tell me all the time, they're like, oh, you're so young, like you should go out more, you should just, you should hang out, meet other people, like experience it while you're still young. And I'm like, fam, like I'm too tired of life in general to be going outside right now. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I have to deal with a lot of things that I have to take care of a lot of things, I don't have time to just waste. I don't have time, and I don't have the energy to go out and hang out. I don't want to be dead. But that's just who I am, so. Like, I spend a lot of my time, like, volunteering. Like, you guys know me. That's the reason why I don't stream on Fridays, is because I volunteer with kids. And I honestly think, like, personally, I just enjoy that a lot more than going out and partying. Like, I know that I could be doing anything on a Friday night, like, but I love my kids to death, and, well, actual death, but like, because that would not be good. But like, I just like, I've learned so much from them, and they've taught me a lot of stuff, you know, like, just in general, you know, like, just like, because I can kind of just relate to them, you know, like, not a lot of people think that, I personally think that it's super important to like raise up the next generation of kids, and you know, I think a lot of the times, just in general, like high schoolers, middle schoolers, they're very much misunderstood, you know, like people think like, oh, teenagers are just moody, like, you know, like I don't like working with teenagers, but like honestly, they're not that bad, you know. I like hanging out with them just because, you know, sometimes they can, you know, they can act out, you know, they can do whatever, and you know, for the most part they can be kind of troublesome, but like everybody has a reason for acting out, you know what I mean? Like, people just don't do things for no reason. There's always reason for it, and like, I don't know whether or not it's just because I, you know, like I just understand what most of them are going through, you know. It's just like, you know, school in general, public school in general, it's just not a fun thing. Or just like school these days is just not fun, you know. Nobody wants to go through that, but you have to. That's how life is. Which sucks, because it's very difficult. Because these days, like, you hear about how everything is so bad these days, you know, like, especially how, like, a lot of the millennials get, like, so much crap about being millennials and stuff, just for being a millennial. You know, you get a lot of crap for being a millennial, and you don't even, it's not like you've done anything yet with your life, it's just, you're just starting out, but we get blamed for everything, which kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of BS. That's why, again, I've said it before, but I just don't like the term millennial, just because I feel like people use it kind of like a slur, like for our generation. There's no pride in the word millennial, just because so many people just use it to be like, oh my god, you're a millennial. Like, it's just like, it's such a bad term. I hate it. Oh, millennials killed this thing, millennials killed that thing, whatever. And I'm just like, yo, chill, man. I don't get paid enough to buy diamonds. That's why the diamond industry is going down, you know what I mean? You pay me more, I'll go into it. I'll buy whatever you want. I just don't have the money to buy it. You know, that's why I'm just like, it's so bad. God. We have so much dirt. Look at this. I mean that's just in general. The new generation, like next generation of people, always have to deal with basically deal with what the previous generation served them. So we're dealing with basically kind of the greed of our previous generation. You know what I mean? I'm putting it out there. We're like, this generation of like young adults, or any of like basically the millennial generation, has to deal with the greed of the past generation. And you can fight me on this all you want, but it really, that's what it is. The past generation got super greedy. Yeah. And so they're the ones benefiting from it, and like they just took everything and didn't leave anything for their next generation, even though they're the ones who are like, oh, we have to make everything so that the next generation of people, you know, have the best of everything, or like they become as successful as we were. And I'm like, Well, you sucked up all this, you sucked it all up. All of it. All the good stuff. And you didn't leave anything for us just because, you know, like, when somebody is successful, somebody is not, you know? That's why I don't trust billionaires. I don't trust billionaires. Because when somebody is making that much money, somebody somewhere is getting exploited. Did I tell you guys? Did I tell you guys what I learned? Oops, what is this? Did I tell you because you know how the lottery right now is pretty, the numbers are pretty high right now, but like, I realized that even if you won the lottery, I feel like that's just more, that's way more money than you would ever need in your lifetime. Like, you honestly never need that much money. Like, nobody needs that much money. So, what I mean by that... Hold on, let me check something real quick. It is not telling me how many coins I got anymore. Give me a second. Okay. So, I realized, calculating this out, even somebody living in California, if you are an average person, right? You're an average person, and I think the average person, I say the average person, without changing, and this is the key thing, without changing your current living situation. Say if you live a relatively decent life, right? You're not living in poverty. Let's just say it that way. If you you have an average job, you have an average life, you maybe own let's just say that you're part of the middle bracket, right? I would say that's pretty average. You're part of the middle bracket. Oh shit. I would say that you, as somebody who's living in that bracket, like middle income families, if you didn't change your lifestyle, you could live off of $10 million in excess. That's actually, you would never have to work a day in your life anymore, but without changing your lifestyle very much, you could probably live off of $10 million and never have to work a day in your life anymore. That's it, $10 million. And you guys can add anything if you guys want to, if you guys think I'm wrong about this. But about $10 million is all you really need. And why I say this? Even somebody living in California who is a medium income family, or part of that, as an individual, let's say you invest half of that, and this is already taxes are paid for on this $10 million. You don't have to pay taxes on it; it's already paid for. Let's just say that's it, $10 million. I would say $5 million of that you invest it, right? $5 million of that, so that's 50%. Half of that gets invested, so now you have $5 million, right? And say you maybe have some debt. Let's say you already own a house, or you're paying for a house right now. Maybe you have a little bit of student loan debt. I don't know your story, but let's just say you're already paying for a house. You have a relatively okay house. It's not overly big. It's not a mansion. But it's not like a rundown shack. It's a relatively good house, maybe like a 2 or 3 bedroom house. Whatever. Let's say you have that. Okay. Maybe you have like 1 or 2 cars. Maybe that's the kind of debt that you have. Maybe you have some student loans. I don't know. So let's just say maybe $1.5 million you use to pay off all your debt. You think $1.5 million is... I think that's plenty, right? I think that's plenty. $1.5 million? Is that a good number? Like, even in California, I feel like if you have like like even living in the Bay Area, I think 1.5 to cover all your student loans, maybe your car loans. And this is me also knowing that California is already, you're paying pretty high prices. That's the highest of the high. Like, we've got the highest probably like living situation here. So let's say you have a 2 to 3 bedroom house. A 2 to 3 bedroom house is about maybe $600,000 or $700,000 if you bought it. Yeah. Okay. Let's say you have that, and then you maybe need to pay off your student loans, which is maybe $250,000. So $250,000. So let's just say that you pay off your house. That's if you bought it, like if you weren't making payment, you were already making payments on it. So there's, maybe that's about $1 million. I'm just gonna round it up. I'm rounding up, okay? So that's $1 million. That's paying off student loans and your house payment, like your house. So your house is paid for, your student loans are all paid for. Let's say you're paying, so you still have $500,000 of debt. So whatever other debt you have, credit card loans, I don't know, like, or credit card, car payments, you're all paying that off. I think you can wrap that under $1.5 million. That's good enough. Even if you're living in California. Done. Debt all paid off, $1.5 million. That's a wrap. So now we have what, 3.5? Okay. Let's say, what else do you have? That's debt. That's already existing debt that you have. What else do you need? Because you remember, you already have, let's just say the $5 million also that you invested that's your constant income. So you don't touch the $5 million in your investments. That's just money that you're living off that interest. So that's your income, your constant income flow. You're living off of that, right? So you don't have to worry about paying other taxes and whatnot. It's already, you're already making the revenue off of the income, of the interest and whatnot. I don't know if that's possible, but let's just say you're doing that. What else? Maybe you wanna, I had this all planned out. I just can't remember. I was discussing with my coworker, like, what this would be like. Let's say you, like, for the rest of your life, you just want to go, like, on vacation every now and then, for the rest of your life. Like, just maybe, like, 1 or 2 vacations, like, going to travel every year, Maybe you want to set aside, do you think $500,000 is enough for that? 500,000? Like $500,000? I had this all planned out. Like, but now I can't really think of it. Okay, so what else would you need? Let's say we'll set aside about $500,000, $500,000 for you to spend on whatever you want. Let's just spending money. $500,000 for spending money. So that's like, but this is not saying, hey, let's go buy a $500,000 car and be done with it. No, this is like, say you maybe as yourself, you need a new car, a practical car. This is again, this is you living about the same life that you have now, but maybe just like you want to pay off all your debt, you want to just not work a day in your life, and you just want to do whatever you want, within reason, of course. So again, you're not going off and buying like Ferraris and whatever expensive cars. You're just kind of like living the same life, right? So maybe you want to buy a new car that's practical. Maybe that takes off like $100,000. That's a pretty good car already. I think for a practical car, you don't need to spend $100,000. But let's just say $100,000, that's already your car. Then whatever, $400,000, maybe you want to buy, you know, like maybe you want to renovate your house or something like that. You know, just so that, you know, like maybe you gotta make repairs of your house. You just want to spruce it up. Maybe you want to redecorate, whatnot. Yeah, like I would say like you could probably wrap that up, right? That's probably fair, right? $400,000. You could probably put that all in there, right? And so now you still got what? Yeah, you could live pretty well. I don't even know what other debt that you would have. Maybe you want to give some of it to your family. You could still give away some of it to your family, you know what I mean? Like, you still have a lot of money. Like, you could live off of $10 million. And say you go travel the world for maybe like 500, like, no, maybe $1 million. So now you've spent 3 mil, right? So 1.5 for your debt, 500 mil, or, you know, 500,000 for your spending money, another $1 million for your travel expenses for the rest of your life. I think you're pretty solid. You still have about $2 million left. Maybe you want to buy a summer home. And this is already kind of going against my whole philosophy of keeping the same lifestyle, but this is say like you bought like another house like in another state, like for like summer home. So not like a real estate house where you're like trying to make money off of it, but like say like you want a house out in like Colorado or something like that, or like Texas, or I don't know, like somewhere where it's really cheap but it looks really nice, you know, like you have a really big house just for the heck of having a really big house, but you're still gonna live there every now and then. Like I would say like maybe $500,000. You could buy a pretty big house in one of those states for $500,000. I know, because I've looked. There was a house that was in Arizona that somebody who I like, who went to my school, like an alumni or alumnus, is that what it is? Who went to my school, who was trying to sell a house because he's now in real estate. It's a house that's in Arizona. It's a 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath, like sitting on, I don't even know how big it is, but it was a pretty big lot, and it cost just as much as my house, my condo here in California, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, sitting on about like, I don't know, it's not even close, man. I think it had like a 5-car garage too. I was like, are you kidding me?